Greetings, this is the Questing GM. Today is day 30 for RPG A Day 2021. And the word of the day is mention. It has been 30 days of RPG A Day, and as we all are rounding up an eventful month of content, I think it's a good time to highlight some of the content that has been made by those who are participating in RPG A Day 2021. These are the RPG A Day content that I've enjoyed the most. Unfortunately, most of these pics are on YouTube, but I'm sure there's an abundance of RPG A Day content on other platforms like Twitter and blogs. Bear in mind, these being my personal picks means that they've resonated with me more. It's not meant to say that you should ignore those that were not mentioned here. In fact, I would encourage everyone watching this to equally check out the other content that were not mentioned here, because you might find something that you would like. But if you're interested in what I like, here we go. JDR D30. This channel takes an innovative and simple approach to this year's RPG A Day, introducing an RPG that contains the word of the day. That's 31 RPGs that you may or may not have heard of, so there's always something for you to check out if anything piqued your interest. Some that had mine were on day 5, 14, and 16. Nolinquisitor. While RPG A Day is a good place to find RPG channels from different parts of the world, there were many that I would like to watch if I could understand their language. Nolinquisitor is one of the few French-Canadian channels that does their content in English. I've been a subscriber of his probably for his RPG A Day 2019 thoughts. It's nice to see his return for RPG A Day 2021. Some of his highlights for me was day 10 and 24. Ivan Mike 68. I've been a long-time subscriber of Ivan even before I started making videos of my own. And even without RPG A Day, I've already enjoyed much of his thoughts on RPGs. Ivan has always been honest and sincere without being judgmental about RPGs and their related issues. So RPG A Day is just another way to prompt him to talk about subjects that he normally wouldn't. It's hard not to find a like from me on his videos, but if there were some that I wanted to give more, it would be his day 11, 12, 20, and 26. Master the Game. I've been a subscriber of Master the Game for a while, even before RPG A Day. In this current era of live stream, there's a disproportion of those streams playing a certain game. Master the Game is one of the rare and few spots that I've found in the RPG streaming world that has a more diverse diet of games, who strongly believes that being open and actually playing more games is actually good for you, which I agree. My recommendations are listening to him talk about playing different games and why you should on day 18 and 26. Casting Shadows, or Runeslinger. Being the co-host of RPG A Day for the past 6 years, and probably the person that I first heard about RPG A Day from, there's something very exemplary and inspirational of how he approaches RPG A Day. Although this year his contributions are not on YouTube, I highly recommend seeking them out on his Casting Shadows blog, and the only one I know to be in the podcast form. I read and listen to both of them at the same time. His contributions are very thoughtful and expand a lot beyond the meaning of the words themselves, all attached with personal anecdotes of what those words mean to him. Being one of the only other content creator that I know who is in a similar time zone, it was always a treat to find his posts first thing in my mornings, and light the fire for me to make mine for the day. It wouldn't be a stretch for me to say that every day is a good day, but if my arms were twisted, it would be his day 7, 12, 15, 24, and 29. So these are my recommendations. I would leave links to the individual days mentioned for each channel in the description. Were there any other content that I didn't mention? Mention your recommendations in the comments. If you would like to participate in RPG Day 2021, you can refer to the links in the description. Or you can use the RPG Day 2021 tag to find all RPG Day content mentioned or otherwise. So this is the Questing GM for now, and I'll see you on day 31.